So, I've seen you do a lot of, high speed biking, jumping from planes. There's so much of adrenaline in you. How do you keep yourself, um, calm when you want to? Like, what's that control? What's that switch?
Adrenaline is a wrong word for me because, for example, if I'm riding or driving, the faster it gets, the calmer and cooler I become.
Wow. Okay.
Uh, because for me, it's a question of attention. In all these years of driving, I started riding when I was 12. In all these years, I've never gone and hit something yet. I'm being fair, okay? Yet, because I've been hit from behind, I've been hit from side, this and that has happened, but I've never gone and hit something. Well, when I was riding with the Kaveri calling some Bangalore actors, the Kannada film actors, they were all riding with me and they said, Sadhguru, when what is the one rule that you follow when you're riding? I said, there's only one rule for me. I'm not thinking of anything, traffic rule, this, that. There's only one rule, never collide with anything. This goes for your life also. Never get into collision course with anything because generally it ends there, you know So when we were talking about being late, I was telling Siddhant, see, everywhere else in your life you must be on time. One place I encourage you to be late to is your own funeral. You must be late. Rest of the time, if you practice being on time, then you will see you can afford to be late.
That's true.
At that one event, you must be late. So, I don't get adrenaline like that, I become very calm because, see, if you run on adrenaline, what it means is, you're still in the basic instinctive state of flight and fight response. There is something called fight or flight response. Here, adrenaline pumps up and the whole system goes crazy. There is another way. Well, these kids will like it. Bangalore, Bengaluru, I'm sorry. So, now there's a lot of scientists, some top scientists from the Harvard Medical School have been, along with the Rutgers University, Florida University, Indiana University, they've been studying the inner engineering practices, what it does in the last 4 years. What they found, one of the things I'll tell you, it's an elaborate study. This is the most unbiased gene expression study that's happened in the world till now about these aspects. What they found was that with just about 40 days to 6 weeks of practice, most people are generating over 70% higher endocannabinoids within themselves. And it lasts. Up to 2 years they've been studied, and for 2 years they're generating endocannabinoids. That means they're all stoned all the time, just like me. Now, right now you think you have to go in search of a plant, and a lot of people are making the plant sacred and this and that. You must listen to what this Israeli scientist who researched, very profoundly about this, said. He found an endocannabinoid which makes your whole experience of life, every cell in the body, literally orgasmic. Because the amount of endocannabinoids that are being produced by simply doing a simple 21-minute practice is higher than what happens in a sexual orgasm. So if you sit here, you're blown away all the time. So this is well established, we always know this, but it has to come from the West, it has to come from Harvard, so you got it, you must look up these reports. We will be publishing this in a big way in the coming year because we are starting a global movement called Conscious Planet, where mental health is one of the biggest issues. This can be addressed from within if you generate enough endocannabinoids. you will naturally not be depressed, you will naturally not be anxious, you will be fine. So this Israeli scientist said this, who gave this name to one of the important endocannabinoids is anandamide. He said, entire body has cannabis receptors. This is not here for you to go looking for a plant. This is here because your system is capable of generating this. This is the most complex chemistry on the planet. If you manage it well, you will create the chemistry that you want. If you are a good manager of this chemical factory, you will be blissed out. If you are a lousy manager, you will be anxious. I know a lot of people will get at me now, he doesn't know what is anxiety, he doesn't know what is depression. Yes, I don't know, I'm telling you very proudly, I do not know. It's my wish and my blessing, none of you should ever know what it is.
Wow. So that question is, how do you deal with breakups?
You are talking of hookup, now you're talking breakup?
Sir, यही problem है. This is what.
No, this is what I said, when you have a hook for a hand, you will pull out your eyeball one day or the other. So, if you're living a hookup life, breakup is natural. Hello? How else? Because you must understand, to build a profound relationship with somebody, you have to… you have to drop something of yourself, otherwise it's not gonna happen, never gonna happen. When I say a profound relationship, see, you don't understand it's just between two sexual partners or husband and wife, not like this. To build profound relationships, it takes a certain amount of transparency of who you are, that people can trust you, people can rely upon you. Above all, they have to see that you are something worthwhile. They have to see that you are worthwhile for them to invest their lives in you, otherwise who the hell will do that? If you don't do this, then hookup, breakup nonsense going on. It all looks… see, right now your intelligence is hijacked by your hormones, so you're talking one language. But after some time, or why… let's go back, why go forward? Let's go back. When you were 4, 5 years of age, if your parents were in hookup mode, would you like it? Hello? You really enjoyed a stable family, right? If they were hookup, breakup, would you like it? No. Once again it'll happen once you cross… you're under 25, if you cross 40, once again you will see that you enjoy profound relationships, not hookups and breakups.
So we should wait till 40.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying, it is up to you when you're mature. When you become a mature approach to life, is up to you. Will you do it at the earliest so that you live a beautiful life? Or will you do it on your deathbed? That's your choice,
So
individual choice.
how does one know their worth? Like sometimes when you're in love, you go out of the way, you do things for somebody, and you're giving 100%, but that person takes you for granted, and you know that feeling of not being valued in a relationship. And so, should you continue that? Should you give up on that? How do you know your worth? Like how do you fix that?
See, you're misunderstanding a transaction for a love affair. A transaction is, how much I've given you, how much have you given me? Every day I'm measuring. I gave you 10 rupees, have you given me 10 rupees worth of stuff or no? This is a marketplace. If your mind is a marketplace, you will always think in terms of how much have I done, how much will he do, endlessly go on. In Karnataka there is a saying, I hope all of you still know some Kannada. Here it is said, ಹೆಣ ಬಿದ್ರು ಹೆಗಲು ಕೊಡಲ್ವಂತೆ. That means, in India we have this, when somebody dies, it's a honor to carry. 4 people will carry the dead man. But even in that, there will be one guy who'll simply walk like this without carrying the weight. These people will not know life. They think they are in profit, but they will never know life. You may take some advantage out of each other, but you will never know the beauty and the sweetness of life if you don't give yourself absolutely, not being bothered about what the other person does. Because, see, right now, you are loving somebody. They're not here, but still it's beautiful for you. That person is not loving you, that beauty is not there in their hearts and minds, yes or no? So I want you to understand, the beauty of a love affair is you are in love. Whether they are or not is their problem. If you are in love, it's fantastic for you.
एक तरफा प्यार,
Huh? What is that?
one-sided love.
You can call it whatever. Essentially, human experience happens within you, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It happens within you. So you have your emotions. Emotion is a very important part of your existence. Because of this silly school education that you're getting, you think emotion is not important. But even today, most of your life is decided by the intensity of your emotion. You may think you're very intellectual, but still your anger or your love or your anxiety or whatever nonsensical emotion you have is much more intense, stronger and more decisive than your thought process for most people. Well, people get elected into office because of other people's emotion, yes?
Yes, sir.
So, emotion is a very juicy part of your life, and that is one thing that you can rev up to high intensity. To rev up this body to a very high intensity takes a lot of work, lot of work. If you want to rev up your energies, it takes a lot of work. If you want to rev up your intelligence or your intellect to a very high intensity, it takes lot of sharpening and work. But emotion is something that most people are capable of revving it up to high pitch. Only thing is, they may be revving it up in the wrong direction, in an unpleasant way. Their emotions are unpleasant, that's their problem. Keeping your emotion pleasant, see, people who are in love, people who are devotees of something, they have the best experience of life because their emotions are sweet. Doesn't matter who's doing what, your emotions are sweet, your experience of life is beautiful. Once your life of experience is beautiful, all the other concerns are just play, all right? You can play. So, you being in love is important. Somebody is in love or not, I'm loving so much, are they loving me that much or this much? If you think like this, you have made your entire life transactional. In transactions, you will gain once and lose another time, endlessly trouble. And above all, in this calculation, you make your life very ugly. To be with people without any sense of what will I get, you do not know the joy of it. It's tremendously exhilarating because when you don't care what you get, life becomes very easy and you're free. You're not enslaved to the transaction. So there is no breakup in your life. People may go in different ways, but there is no breakup. People ask me, Sadhguru, have you ever been heartbroken? No, I consciously cut it into millions of pieces and threw it around the world. So, because I don't have one, I can't break it.
Wow.
But is it also true, the greatest chemical factory, the most sophisticated chemical factory is right here? Huh? The question is only, are you a great manager of this factory or a lousy manager, isn't it? If you know how to manage this well, suppose your chemistry was in your hands, would you cause anxiety or ecstasy? What's your choice? Ecstasy, of course, highest level of pleasantness for myself, isn't it? Definitely. So the problem is just this, for some reason your chemistry is out of control. For whatever reason, there may be genetic patterns, there may be pathological reasons, there may be just outside stimulus, many things. But still, is it not your fundamental responsibility to take charge of your physical and mental health, please? Hello? The moment you think it is not yours, tell me it is completely out of your hands. If you see that it is your responsibility, everything may not be fixed, but we can move towards well-being. Tomorrow morning everything may not be fixed, but we can start moving towards well-being. But the moment you think this is happening either because of your genetic factor totally or because of God's will, then no way to fix you. This is very important. Responsibility of who you are, what you are not, must move into you. This is the fundamental mission for me. Religion to responsibility. Religion means responsibility is there. Everything that goes wrong in my life. But the problem is you're on a round planet and the damn thing is spinning. You don't even know what is up. You don't know which is up, isn't it? Hello? Is the planet round? No, because you're a journalist, I'm asking. It is round and it's spinning. So, if you look up, inevitably you're looking up in the wrong direction. Nowhere in the cosmos is it marked this side up. You don't even know which is up. How come something up is responsible for what you are? It's time we take this into ourselves. Then we can do the best we can do. Will everybody be of the same level of physical and mental health on the planet? No, it'll never happen. But the important thing is, are we doing the best we can about ourselves? That's most important. What we can do must happen. What we cannot do will not happen. What to do? If we do not do what we cannot do, there's no problem. But if we do not do what we can do, we are a disaster. That's what a disaster means, that we are not doing what we can do. This is disastrous. What we cannot do, we are not doing. This is not a problem.
I think you're going to be a little less anxious after that.
Anyway, now she's asking this personal question. See, there are simple ways. There are simple ways to bring balance to the system. There is chemistry, there is, various glandular functions happening in the body. Simplest thing, you just learn to sit properly. When I say sit properly, you sit in such a way that the body doesn't need your muscular support. It is so well balanced, if it sits, it simply sits. Just do this for a few hours a day. You will see, you will feel much better. There are other more complex processes that you can do and definitely come out of this problem. But just at least try this much. Geometrically, you keep yourself in such a way, there is no stress in the system, just keep it in a certain way. Now you sit like this, just see how much stress is there in this body all the time. Just initially it looks like there's an effort, but once you sit like this, you see that without effort, body stays there. Without stressing any particular part of the body, it just stays there. Geometry is most important in the sense, with anything physical in the universe, how efficiently something functions. Whether it is what is that word? You're a petrol head, huh? Well, I'm driving a diesel car. So, anything that… let's say engine, if you take it. When we say this is a really good engine, what do we mean? It is geometrically well aligned, there's no friction. If you say this building is well designed, what do you mean? It means geometrically it's well structured, isn't it? Similarly with this body and with the entire cosmos, right now the planets are going around the sun, is it handled with a steel cable or something? It's just the geometry. If it goes off its geometrical alliance, it's finished, isn't it? The solar system. It's only because of perfection of geometry it's working. Similarly with this, getting this body to the right level of geometry, the whole system of yoga on one level is about getting your physical geometry aligned with the cosmic geometry so that being here becomes absolutely effortless. Where there is geometrical perfection, there is no effort, there is no friction in the system. You have to bring this, you must understand whether you can name it by any number of names, stress, anxiety, this, that. Essentially there's friction. Yes? Essentially there's friction in the system. So it's important that its first thing is geometrically well aligned, next thing is it must be properly lubricated. There are ways to do this. Don't allow these small things to take over your life, because they can limit and destroy the process of your life simply because one little anxiety all the time bothering you. This must be fixed at the earliest possible time. Some people, of course, downgrade themselves as time goes by. Some people are upgrading themselves, isn't it? It's possible if you're willing. Willingness means, if you have to be truly willing, you have to be conscious. If you're unconscious, you have become unwilling unknowingly.
So, moving on. My question is very relatable to the audience as well. Heartbreak is something that I think everybody…
Who broke your heart?
So, heartbreak is something that almost everybody goes through, and especially at some point of their time.
Oh, okay.
And I remember, in fact, my teacher once telling me that it is at your time you love, you break, and you learn to love again and again and again. But
Who is
the
this
beauty…
teacher, huh?
Sorry?
Who is this teacher?
That's a top secret. And she told me that the beauty of it is that…
Oh, it's a she. Okay.
It's a she. And the beauty of it is that you fall in love again and you break, but then it always ends up healing you again. I wonder, Sadhguru, everybody teaches us how to love. Movies, poems,
Really?
Bollywood.
If you do the things that you're doing in the movie, nobody will love you.
Literature. Almost many things teach us how to love, but nobody has ever taught us how to undo the love.
See, about breaking hearts, I don't have a broken heart because I gave away my heart very early on in my life, so nobody can break it, I gave it away. You should do that, then nobody can break it. See, we must understand this. What is a love affair? Is it okay? Mechanics of love affair, we can look at it. I'm not trying to de-romanticize everything. It's just this. Let's say you were 10 years of age. You looked around, the world was quite normal. Hello? Was it normal when you were 10, 12? It was normal. I'm not picking on you because you're in the first row, okay? So it was looking quite normal. Suddenly, after some time, you got little poisoned, chemically poisoned. Then you looked, every little bump on somebody's body looks like a world by itself. Hello? Till then everything was okay, isn't it? You're 10, 12, it's okay. You became 13 and you look like this, suddenly this is a world by itself. The neighborhood squawny girl who didn't mean a damn thing to you, suddenly she's the focus, she's the apple of your eye. Yes? Yes. So this is because your intelligence has been hijacked by your hormones. So it is making funny things happen. It is making you believe all kinds of things. When you look back and say you'll feel stupid, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong about it. But it's very important that we understand what's happening to us. Otherwise, we'll do idiotic things that we may regret later, It is not a question of morality. It is a question of handling our life sensibly. So, I don't want, because that your teacher may be here, I don't want to say anything about that, but this serial heartbreak business can leave you paranoid about anything, about bonding with anybody in your life. Yes or no? Absolutely. You had serial heartbreaks, it looked like fun for some time. After some time, you just don't actually trust anybody in your life because another human being is a problem always. Only when our emotions allow you to cross that problem, in some way they get included. But if we have serial heartbreaks, we will never allow our emotion to cross those barriers. We will always be cautious because anyway this is come with a… expiry date. Huh? When people come with an expiry date, yes, there is an expiry date for all of us, but relationships, the idea of building relationships is that it's of support on all levels of life, so that two people, that means two brains and two bodies, can do better than one in many ways, in various aspects of life, in profession, in domestic situation, in life, in companionship, in emotion, in arranging and organizing our lives, in every way. Two people can do better than one person, that is the idea. And of course, nature is pushing us together because nature doesn't care about your love affair, it just wants you to reproduce. Yes? Yes. You think Mother Nature is worried whether you love or you don't love? It wants you to reproduce. But we've overdone that a little bit. There's no hurry, we don't have to yield to that. Hello? Yes. In the beginning of 20th century, we were only 1.6 billion people. Today we are 7.6 billion people. 4 times over in little over 100 years is a bit too much. Yes. And nobody can live well here if this number keeps on increasing like this. So, if you are a tiger, I would also say, please reproduce, because I'm looking at the colors and saying. If you were a tiger, I would encourage you, please reproduce, because it's an endangered species. Human beings definitely not endangered, we are endangering everything. So, reproduction is not the purpose right now, we have kept it aside. But nature's push is towards that. But we have emotional needs, physical needs, psychological needs, maybe financial and social needs, variety of needs. To conduct these needs in a dignified way, to conduct these needs in a… See, once you come as a human being, you can't do things, though they're the same things what the animals do, but we would like to do it more gracefully, consciously. Whether we eat or we copulate or we sleep, we like to do it little more aesthetically right. That's an important thing. For that, we need the cooperation of another person who is also somehow congruent to us. Every 2 days, if you have heartbreaks and going on, well, you will see the trouble of that.
Shreya, do you have the next one?
Yeah, these are the social questions, Orithro.
No, so I've got another one, I've got a last one from me. So we have a lovely school of engineering here, and a lot of engineers here, right? Yeah, so the pertinent topic today is artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence is getting more intelligent by the day. And soon a human being is going to make a robotic system that might develop a conscience. And when artificial intelligence does develop a conscience, do you think that human beings are needed, and what is the position of human beings going to be on Earth?
So let's understand the difference between conscience and consciousness. Conscience is a social thing. You can also teach it to a machine. My phone says, I'm sorry. Have you seen this? Yes. So it has a conscience. Because conscience is a socially developed thing. For the same things that one society feels guilty about, another society does not feel guilty about it, isn't it so? So obviously it's a socially imposed thing. What one person feels troubled about, another person does not feel troubled about it. So conscience is not an important thing, it's a socially imposed thing. Every generation has a different kind of conscience. Actually, every human being has a different kind of conscience. The same things they don't suffer. Maybe generally everybody suffers a certain kind of thing in a given society. In another society, they don't. Consciousness is a different matter. If you're thinking that machines will become conscious, that is because most human beings are yet to be conscious, they are thinking. Machines also can become conscious. Right now, your whole education system and the way we are conducting our so-called knowledge is all about accumulating memory or information and thinking you're smart. We are constantly duping ourselves and everybody around us that memory is intelligence. Memory is not intelligence, memory is just memory. But right now, why is it a city boy looks smarter than a village boy? Not because he's more intelligent, simply because he has more information. Just looking at the Google, they think they have become more intelligent. You have not. You have just got more information. So these are great times. All those idiots, just by reading a book, who are acting like they are on top of the world, will mean nothing in the next 10 years. It's great time, I like it. Because this is my time. My time is coming. I'll tell you how. I was just 12 or 13 years of age. Not like you guys, probably from the age of 6, 7 you've been having a smartphone or whatever. For the first time I saw a flatbed calculator when I was 13 years of age. Those days, there were only two companies doing flatbed calculators, Sony and Panasonic. Sony is very expensive, 125 rupees. Panasonic, if you go to that Burma Bazaar or that… what is that, Hong Kong… whatever, those things are not there anymore. When in India, all electronics was smuggled from outside. You had to go into a cellar somewhere and do some deal quickly because before the police come, you must buy your denims and your calculator and whatever you want and run from there. Yes, we had to buy our… if you want your Levi's, because that's all I lived in those days, I couldn't live in any other pants. So, if you want to buy your Levi's, you have to go there and you don't have time to even wear it and see whether it fits you. Just look at it like this, if it's okay, take it and go, because any time they will raid, whenever they want money, the police will come and catch everybody and you have to pay out. Because it's all smuggled. Nothing was available in this country. It's all only after 96 or 97 these things are openly available. So this calculator somebody brought to the school and they said, just look at this. Tuk 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 into tuk 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 tuk. I said, what? This big number into this big number, answer right there. First thought that came to me is, why the hell are they torturing me in the mathematics classes? This damn thing can do it. And it will do sin theta, cos theta, everything. I thought, this is it. I sat there and dreamt, if there was a machine like this for physics, machine like this for chemistry, for biology, I don't have to come to school. This is my thought. After 50 years, this is coming true and I'm so happy. But some idiots are thinking their jobs will go away. And I'm so glad they will lose their jobs because they've been torturing all of us. They could be religious gurus, they could be professors, they could be scholars, they've been torturing us for a long time simply because they read a book ahead of us.
Well,
you must look back and see the kind of power this one man in the village can read. I have seen this. In the village where I had a farm where I was living and there is one retired postman, like a postmaster kind of guy, who can read. Nobody else can read in the village. You should see all these ladies and all, their children have written letter, their husband has written a letter, they'll come and give it to this guy. This guy will read it loudly. A crowd is sitting and listening to their personal letter. All right? Because only this guy can read. And they're all looking at a paper, he's saying all this, it's such a wonder. This is the power of religion. They just read one book and made you believe they know the whole universe. Just reading one book. As if the whole goddamn cosmos is contained in one book. Even in 1,000,000 books, it is not possible, isn't it? Hello? If you write 1,000,000 books, you cannot contain the nature of this creation in 1,000,000 books or 1,000,000,000 books, isn't it so? But people made you believe it's all in one book. And how much power they have wielded for the last couple of thousand years and continue to, even today. So this has to go. People who have read a book, accumulated some memory and think they're on top of the world are going to fall. This is just a repeat of what happened in 60s and 70s. At that time, whoever had the biggest muscle was the leader of the place because everything was done with the muscle. I remember in Mazagon docks in Mumbai, these coolies who were like that, the way they dominated the whole place. If like 100 and… at that time the vessels were smaller, 125,000 ton vessel comes, they will unload it sometimes up to 45 days to 90 days. Yes. Sack by sack, they will bring it out and sit there and… There are a lot of movies like this, Hindi movies have been made about that. Aye, and sit there. You want your goods out, sit down. When the cranes and gantries were brought, they were the first people who said, no way, we don't want cranes, we don't want gantries, all the trade unions went against it. But today, just now I was at a major port in Mundra, a 250,000 ton vessel is emptied within 24 hours. Okay, fantastic or no? So all the muscular men, where are they? We give them… if they are, we give them a security job at the most. You don't make him the boss of this place because once technology came, the muscle is useless. You need some muscle to manage your life, but this big muscle like this is no more valued. Similarly, this big memory is no more valued in the next 10 years. I'm so glad because the good times are coming. You are not valued for some rubbish you're carrying in your head. You're valued for what kind of a human being you are. This is the best time for humanity.
I have been trying to surrender, but it is so hard to surrender. Can you say anything about it and how can I become like Shiva?
So, I want to surrender. What do you want to surrender to? What is your idea of surrender? See, these are all words floating around. The problem with our country is this. There was a time when this culture was steeply, seriously invested in a spiritual process, where significant segment of human beings living in this country or in this region were invested in spiritual processes. To tell you what is spiritual process, it is not about looking up and looking down, it's not about prayer, it's not about going to temple and this and that. Spiritual means you are beginning to experience something beyond the limitations of your physiological and psychological stuff. Right now, most people's life is limited to the boundaries of their physiology and their psychological space. If one is experiencing something beyond that, then that is called spiritual. What is the point of this? As we've already gone through this to some extent, I'll skip through this a little bit, that essentially it means, see, there are only two kinds of suffering in human life. Physical suffering, mental suffering. Do you know any other kind of suffering? What is that? Well, what you call as emotion is just juicier part of your mind, all right? Thought is dry, emotion is juicy, but it's mental, right? The way you think is the way you feel, isn't it so? So, I had a very nasty joke, but you know, all the young people are there, let me not tell, right? So, now I want to surrender means there is you and you want to surrender. To whom? To whom? To Shiva? Huh? Okay. See, freedom is a very vague idea. Bondage is a very clear idea. Suppose I won't do this, suppose I tie you up to this chair, now with a rope. I want to become free, I want to become free like a bird in the sky. It's not going to happen. You just have to figure out how to undo these knots or how to cut this rope. But freedom is a vague and wonderful idea which doesn't take you anywhere. If you understand what is binding you, if you undo that, you will come to a little better level of bondage. You understand? If you undo one bondage, you will come to a higher level of bondage. If you undo that, you will come to a higher level of bondage. If you keep on undoing various things which bind you, one day, maybe they will run out of stock. When they run out of stock as to how to bind you, then we say, you're in mukti, you're free. These ideas of surrender, this, that, all this have come because the tradition of spirituality, it was common language to use these things, but now that experiential aspect of spirituality is gone, only vocabulary is there. What do you do with vocabulary? You can bullshit other people. Vocabulary is not going to solve your life. With vocabulary, you can override other people. You cannot do anything with vocabulary. Vocabulary is only useful socially, isn't it? Within myself, what is the use of my vocabulary? There is simply no use to that. So, do not come up with all these ideas, I want to surrender, I want to get enlightened, I want to do this. I'm saying people who get into those ideas seriously usually do the most stupid things in life. Don't do that. See, your intelligence, I'm not saying your intellect, your intelligence is the highest aspect of your life. This is a serious problem in the world, that people say, if you say love, people say God is love. Arey, how do you know he needs to love? You need love. How do you know he needs love? Maybe he's free from that. Hello? No, God is love, they will repeat. If you say bliss, you say divine bliss. If you say peace, heavenly peace. Everything that human beings are capable of has been exported to heaven. And I want to surrender, I want to do this, I am Atman, Paramatman, this one, that one. See, with this, you will become multiple personality problem. That is also one of the categories. This happened one day. Shankaran Pillai went to… went to a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist spent a couple of weeks of, consultation, and then he said, see, I've figured out what is your problem after all this study. Your problem is you have a split personality. That means you're schizophrenic. That means you're two in one. You're Atma, Paramatma, this one, that one, so many things, I'm ego, I'm this, that, people are using this without understanding what they're doing to themselves. So after all this, and he said, see, I've all spent so many hours on you, so the fee is 10,000 rupees. Shankaran Pillai looked at him, put his hand in his pocket, pulled out a 100-rupee note, gave it to him and said, get the rest from the other guy. So, do not get into spiritual jargon, it's very important. It's very important. In your mind, your articulation is not unnecessarily causing confusion to yourself. How do I surrender? How do I surrender? Obviously, you don't know the front end or back end of what a surrender means. Because you cannot surrender by will. If you have a will, how can you surrender? I want to surrender. How can you surrender? If you simply sit here and don't do anything, you have surrendered. I'm telling you, are you breathing, all of you? I'm just checking, hello? You're breathing. In many ways, you have surrendered to the bubble of this atmosphere, isn't it? Can you say, no, I'm not going to breathe, I don't want to surrender to the waves of the air, I'll simply sit here, possible? I'm saying, If you pay attention to the nature of your existence, it is a deep surrender. There is no way you can exist for a moment here without all these things which we don't even know from where they're working, how they're working, they're all working for us. Hello? The planets, the sun, the moon and the galaxies, everything and the empty space, everything working for us, isn't it? You think you can understand this and make it work? So when people look like this, usually I say, hey, are you a planet spinner? Because it looks like you're the one who's spinning the planet every day and you're depressed and you're miserable, all this, as if you're spinning the planet. Life is happening free to you. You just have to keep yourself in the right way to receive the bounty of life. Survival is the only issue. That doesn't take much intelligence to handle. Every worm, insect, bird, animal handling their own survival. You… this much brain, you can't handle it? No, they're making a big fuss about it. Not because you cannot survive. The problem is you want to survive better than her, that is the problem.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. My question is this, that why we need to have balance in life all the time? Why we can't live free?
Balance is freedom, sir.
Balance.
Yes. No. Balance is freedom. See, there was a… maybe you're not introduced to these aspects of the world sport. There was a motorcycle rider called Kenny Roberts. Kenny Roberts won 5 world championships. 16 races are there across the world. Winning this 5 years consecutively is almost superhuman. You cannot do it because the best machines, everybody has the best machines, everybody is fully into it, everybody is talented. 5 years anybody winning was unheard of. So when some media asked him, how do you do this? What is it? This is almost magical, how do you do this? So Kenny Roberts said, I go out of control with control. This is me also, always out of control but with control. If you're fully controlled, you will become constipated. If you go out of control, probably you will be dead. You must be little on the edge, out of control but in control. Isn't that dangerous? Yes, it is. Because life is very dangerous, because you will die. Hello? You know this? You know this or no? You know you'll die. So you're only trying to postpone your death, you're not trying to avoid your death, however young or old you are. Is that clear to everybody? We're only trying to postpone death. Is anybody trying to avoid death? Only a fool will try that, isn't it? We're just postponing it. We would like to postpone it as much as possible, fine, we'll bless you with a long life, but you are not trying to avoid life. So what is it that you're making such a big fuss about? See, in southern India, it may be here also, but in South Indian languages, in rural southern India, if you are in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, somewhere, in the village if somebody sees you, they ask, "Utaita? Saptingla?" This means, have you eaten? They're not asking you, how are you depressed, are you joyful today, how are you doing? No. Have you eaten? Because if you've eaten, what other problem can you have? Rest of it is all self-made problems. So because you have eaten without really working for it, now you're inventing problems. You want some problems, but I want you to understand, you're not looking for problems, you're looking for something profound. But because you don't know, you don't have an access or you don't have a tool to go a little profound into your life, you're inventing problems and making it look profound. Because troubled people look more profound than joyful people, isn't it? Hello?
So Sadhguru, as mentioned, we were closely following your Save Soil journey that you took across 50,000 kilometers. and over 100 days on a single motorcycle. And even from the videos, we could see that
A man can ride only one motorcycle at a time.
from the videos, we could see that the conditions you were driving in were extremely harsh. So could you tell us a little bit about what it took to embark on a journey like this?
See, I've been talking about soil for over 30 years. I've spoken to ordinary people, I've spoken to thousands of farmers, I've spoken to officials, agriculture ministers, many heads of state, environment ministers. Everybody, whenever I speak, they say, Sadhguru, this is fantastic, what you're saying is so important. And it looks like that night, they're using my talk as a pillow to sleep upon. Because 30 years nobody did anything. On ground we are doing so many things and putting it up and making them see this is the situation, but including these millions of volunteers who are with us, they also say, Sadhguru, wonderful Sadhguru, and sleep. So I knew I had to do something. What do I have to do something? I don't hold any official position, I am not a minister, I am not an officer, I am nothing. The only thing that I have is, I have the goodwill and love of people. I thought, let me play with that. So suppose I start walking from London to Kaveri, I know it's sure death. Suppose I want to cycle, at this stage in my life, that is also death. So I took the motorcycle, which is many number of times in those 100 days I could have died, because on an average I'm riding like, see if you take an average, because 100 days, you ask young people who ride, if there are any riders who've ridden long distances, how many of them would choose to stay on a motorcycle 100 days, covering an average of 300 kilometers per day? That means many days I'm covering, because I've done 691 events on the way. So on an average, 7 events per day. So many days I'm riding 18 to 24 hours sometimes, through the night I'm riding. So people saw, oh, Sadhguru is trying to kill himself. And everybody woke up and they made so much noise around the world. It touched 3.91 billion people. So all these people could only wake up if I'm going to die. If I live, they will sleep. This is the tragedy of the world. But what to do? We have to work with the world in which we live. We can't ask for an ideal world. There is no such thing. So the movement caught up in a huge way. What does it take to do this? It's sheer madness. Because if you don't know, you know, I'm 65 years of age. To ride a motorcycle for 100 days through all kinds of weather, to do all these events, it's asking, it's a suicide, literally. But we successfully did that. What makes it successful? Is it do I look like such an enormously strong, muscular man? No, I'm not. It's just this. Everything that comes your way, whatever situation, physical hardship, challenging situations, anything, you can either carry it lightly or you can make it million tons on your head. Mental health, I'm saying. Anything, if you can carry it lightly, because it's not sitting on your head, it's up to you whether you want to put it on your head or you can… Your problems will follow you like a cloud wherever you go. Why should you carry it, I'm asking? Hello? Do you have to carry your problems? They come with you. So where is the need to carry? But people carry as if their problems will go away. They're not going to go away, they're coming with us. Hello? Why carry it? So I don't carry the 1,000 problems around me. When you do a campaign like this, there are all kinds of issues, political issues, religious issues, this issue, that issue, controversies, nonsensical stuff, people who have nothing else to do other than commenting on other people's lives. There are so many of them invested in that, all this stuff.
and there is a war and there is this and that happening. What does it take is just this. See, if you operate as a physical body, it has its capabilities, but it has severe limitations. If you don't eat one meal, you'll collapse. If you don't sleep one day, next day morning you collapse. If you operate as a mind has a little more tenacity compared to body because it's not hardware, it's more software. But that'll also, if you stretch it beyond a point, it'll collapse. It's a fact that both this physical aspect of who you are and the psychological aspect of who you are, you gathered it from outside, isn't it so? One by eating food, another by the impressions that you have taken in. If you carry these two things little loosely, when I say loosely, see, suppose your clothes are loose, always you're conscious that this is my clothing. Suppose you wear skin-tight nylon clothes, after some time you don't know which is your skin, which is your nylon. Yes or no? Simply because there is no space. This is the same thing. If you carry your body and your mental structure with little distance from you, you can do things that other people think is superhuman. But this is not about being superhuman. This is about realizing being human is super. It's very important. It's very important we realize being human is super. None of you science know? Okay, not that kind of. You know something about evolution, you heard of Charles Darwin at least. Well, as per the evolutionary theory, you're the flower of evolution. You're the peak of evolution on this planet at least. That means you're on top of the world. But how many human beings are feeling like they're on top of the world right now? No, they have to sit on top of your head, then only they will feel top of the world. You're on top of the world, isn't it? We are the most evolved creatures on this planet, and you are the only one who is called a being. There are more beautiful and ferocious animals and capable animals. There's a tiger. We don't call him a tiger being. There are elephants. We don't call him an elephant being. Only you is a being. What does it mean? It just means you're the only one who has a choice as to how to be. All those other creatures are unconscious, compulsive, instinctive reactions to the situations in which they exist. This is one who knows how to be. If you know how to be, would you keep yourself blissful or miserable? Choice. Huh? Blissful, she's saying it just to me. I'm asking all of you, if you had a choice between blissfulness and misery, what's your choice? See, from now on I'll ask you some questions to the audience. If you say yes, no or silence, I'll just bless you, it's up to you. Blissful or miserable? It is not a conditioned response, I want to be blissful. It is not a philosophy, it is not an ideology. It is a natural, intrinsic need that if you can experience life in the highest level of pleasantness, that's how you would like to do it, yes or no? So when this is the case, why such a simple thing is not happening? If you're blissful, your body is aching. Does it really matter? Hello? You're really blissed out. Something is hurting, does it matter? Yes, we will attend to it, but it doesn't stop you from doing anything. If you're miserable, if somebody as much as touches you, it'll go into whole creation of hell. Did you design hell? No. No, because you're a designing student, I'm asking. No, because I do not know of what all is there in heaven, because people have given a very descriptive detail of how is hell. Maybe it was designed by them because they know so much detail about how it happens. And some people want to go to heaven, they think that is better. No, because they've made a hell out of themselves, they want to go to heaven. And the simple question is, I'm asking all of you, do you have any proof that you are not already in heaven and making a mess out of it? Do you have any proof? No. So that's the reality. You are in heaven making a mess out of it. If you stop doing that, you will never have to talk this nonsense about mental health. So, because on the motorcycle, there are physical issues. There are issues. People told me, big riders who have done intercontinental rides, when they heard my schedule, Sadhguru, you could die. 100 days on the motorcycle, you could die. If you don't die, at least you will have a broken back for sure. You right? Back is good, still alive? Not because I want you to understand, this is not because I am some kind of superhuman, because there is an element in a human being which is beyond one's body and mind. If you don't touch that, you never know life in its depth. You know life only on its surface. You know only what you… Suppose I know only your clothes, I don't know you. Can I say I know you? No. Right now, clothes is something that we put on. Body is also something that you put on. Whole heap of mind also is something that you put on over a period of time, isn't it? If you cannot distinguish between what you wear and what you are, then there is a mental issue, isn't it? Mental health, not a mental case, that's why I can do what's needed. This is what we want to change, that we want to create a conscious planet where being blissed out and being profound is possible at the same time. Let's make it happen, thank you.
Guru's talk on surrender. Sadhguru says, I do not usually talk about this, but there has been a lot of talk about surrender everywhere. The moment thinking, logical, educated mind hear the word surrender, they will build forts around themselves. They are free-thinking people who are trapped in the mess of their own mind. Surrender is for slaves and defeated one. When we use the word surrender, it means you surrender that which is false. Everything that you have been is just a falsehood. Identifications you have taken on in your life, what have you got to really surrender? You have nothing. When you realize this, you have surrendered. When you surrender the wall that you built, everything becomes one. Only when you merge with existence, you are free. As long as you and existence are separated, there is no such thing as freedom. True freedom can happen only when you are not. As long as you are there, where is freedom? You may enlarge your prison wall, but bondage is still there. As long as you exist, there is bondage. When you surrender this illusory wall of separation that you have built between you and existence, everything is one. This wall does not exist. You believe it exists. All that you surrender is your illusion, not reality. When you surrender your illusion, you begin to experience reality. Reality is not something that you can create. Reality is that which contains you. Reality already is, but it comes into your experience. Reality will simply be. Right now in your experience, you have become a whole world of yourself. With all the multiple impressions that you have built a world of your own. The world is not reality. Every moment, even to exist here physically, you have to communicate with the rest of the existence. Just your breath is a form of communication on the physical level. If you break the communication even for one moment, you cannot exist. But you believe you have nothing to do with anything. Satsang means to drop that which you are identified with, the falsehood that you have created. You put down the wall that you have built between you and the reality. It is not that it has to happen in particular room or hall. For those who are willing, it is always available. In a room or hall, we are trying to create an atmosphere that makes it easier for you. Without a certain presence that seems to be larger than yourself, dropping your identifications become difficult because it is like jumping into the void. If you feel something that is bigger than yourself, it becomes a little easier to keep what you think of as yourself aside. You have to come to satsang with a different attitude than the way you have association or clubs. Those places are to manifest your exclusiveness. A satsang is to drop your exclusiveness. Right from a textile advertisement to a cigarette, modern culture is trying to make you exclusive. Your effort is to be special. People who love you are supposed to tell you all the time that you are very special. I am here to tell you that you are not special. In trying to be special, you are becoming stupid because you are separating yourself from reality. If people around you are reinforcing this, it is not out of love, it is out of fear and need. What you call love is an attempt by two people to become one, but if you think you are special, how will you ever become one? Love is out of question as long as there is fear of losing yourself. Only one who is beyond the fear of losing oneself can know love, can be love. A Buddha can be loving, a Jesus can be loving, but those who have a fear of losing themselves can never be loving. If two people with fear meet, they try to give each other a little bit of strength to go on with life. These are survival skills that cannot liberate you. They can only bind you. As long as there is fear of losing yourself, there is no possibility. Thank you.